You know, you have one guy over there.
Hmm?
All right, yeah, get him the hell out of here, will you, please?
Me?
Get him out of here. Throw him out.
Just hanging around?
Get him the hell out of here. Get him out of here. Get out. Get him out of here. And you'll read about him tomorrow.
What's up, guys? Benny. Here's what can be said about the current state of the Epstein transparency crisis, that the push for further disclosures on Jeffrey Epstein has led to further disclosures on Jeffrey Epstein. If we hadn't made such a big deal about this, if there wasn't such an outcry from the public, with the New York Times had published a look inside of Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan lair, the 7-story townhouse the sex offender hosted, the elite, displayed photos with presidents, and showcased his edition of Lolita, a creepy fantasy novel about abusing children, along with this photo of a bride hanging rope. Foreshadowing here. What we found in this article was all of these unpublished photographs of Jeffrey Epstein and, well, Bill Clinton. A lot of people, but to be fair, this one is quite unique. Look at how close these two were. They're like buds, like best friends. Nobody's ever seen that. Back here, you have the Bill Gates photo. And over here, we have something very unique. We have Bill Gates signing a dollar bill saying, "You were right. You were right. I was wrong," says Bill Gates, with a dollar bill signed on. What was Bill Gates wrong about exactly? We do know that Bill Gates had an affair with a young Russian bridge player who, according to news accounts, was set up by Jeffrey Epstein, was hosted by Jeffrey Epstein, and was blackmailing Bill Gates. Jeffrey Epstein was doing all of that. That's what the news accounts say. Steve Bannon's also on there. Of course, President Trump has been well trod ground. Bill Gates signing a dollar saying, "I was wrong." What's he wrong about? You have Mohammed bin Salman there, leader of Saudi Arabia. Obviously, some trappings of very powerful people. But anyway, the point is that the mysteries continue to grow, and we don't actually know what the full op was. We do know that it was all filmed. It's all on camera. Virginia Robert, here's just one example of a camera inside of Jeffrey Epstein's lair in Manhattan, where so many prime ministers, Ehud Barak, all these people, all these famous people were there all the time. Obviously, young women going in and out. You have here Allen write a letter talking about all of the young women that were serving them inside of this mansion. He called it like Dracula's mansion. Anyway, the point is that we're actually making headway here, and we're learning more. And here is a brand new unseen photo of Bill Clinton aboard Jeffrey Epstein's jet, taken with Jeffrey Epstein's butler, who is now coming clean about everything he knows about Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Clinton, just do it, right? Yes, Bill Clinton did just do it. This is in the Telegraph. This is a full expose on the butler of Jeffrey Epstein and what he knew. I was Epstein's butler for 18 years. There's no way he killed himself. Trusted aide tells of life in disgraced financiers' inner circle, which included Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, and Woody Allen. And this photo of Jeffrey Epstein, perhaps the last known photo of Jeffrey Epstein before his mugshot and murder, wearing an IDF shirt. Goodness gracious. Now, it's long been suspected that Jeffrey Epstein was operating as an intelligence asset for the Israeli military, and here he is with an Israeli military shirt on. Fascinating, isn't it? So this article is very long and extensive. I encourage you to read all of it, but I'm going to jump to the parts about Clinton because I think they're very important. Effectively, he does ask about Trump too, in all fairness. But the guy says, "I never met Trump." This is the butler of Jeffrey Epstein. He says, "I never met Trump." By the way, this guy totally checks out. He has all the photos. He has all the credentials. We found him on Facebook. He's a real person. He's living in Paris. This is the real deal. He's not making any of this stuff up. His name is Mr. Cotrin, and he's the butler. So Mr. Cotrin talks about how he met Bill Clinton on the Lolita Express, Epstein's private plane. And we know that Clinton has flown on this plane before, but nobody's ever seen this photo before of Bill Clinton wearing the "Just Do It" shirt He was also traveling with one of the women who was very young that has accused and settled with Jeffrey Epstein's estate over sexual abuse. It was very interesting. Mr. Clinton was subpoenaed on Tuesday. Again, I want to note that in all fairness, the guy, he talked about Trump, the Butler. Here's a photo of Jeffrey Epstein and the Butler, right? And here he is, having a piece of cake. Here's the Butler today, right? This is him. He talked about Trump. He said he never met Trump. Didn't have any stories about Trump. Said never met him. Didn't know Trump, right? But he did meet Clinton. Oh, hot damn. Did he ever meet Clinton? Right? He says that Epstein hung a large photo of Mr. Cochran Epstein, taken on the Lolita Express, hung on the wall alongside another with Bill Clinton. Mr. Cochran reeled off a list of dignitaries that would come with Epstein for 2 decades, including Prince Andrew, who he cooked for 5 or 6 times, Paris, Mr. Clinton, who he met on Epstein's jet. Now, we knew about Mr. Clinton on Epstein's jet. Here's what we didn't know. Rattling through a number of globally known figures, the ex-Butler mentioned Mr. Clinton, who he met just one time in the autumn of 2002 when he was passing through Paris. Flight logs indicate that Mr. Clinton was on Epstein's private jet 26 times. When he went to take a tour of Africa, he got back and he went to Paris, and the Butler went to go pick them up at the airport. I was trembling. It's not every day you get to meet someone of that stature. Mr. Clinton had just been traveling with Kevin Spacey and Maxwell and Epstein himself. Also present was a 21-year-old masseuse, Shantae Davies, who later testified that she was reportedly raped and abused by Epstein. The little black book contained Clinton's phone number. Mr. Clinton then joined a tour led by the Duke of York around Buckingham Palace. That wild, leading to this shocking photograph of Ghislaine Maxwell sitting on the throne of England. Whew. Mr. Cochran remembers that Epstein often laughed in front of a painting that he bought of Mr. Clinton in a red high heels and a blue dress, just like the one that Monica Lewinsky wore in the Oval Office encounter that hung in his Manhattan mansion. So he's laughing about that. So he says that he met Clinton. He never met Trump. And he produced photos to prove it. These photos of Bill Clinton. And he says that he met Clinton after this famous trip where Kevin Spacey says that there were these young girls on the plane. Kevin Spacey says that right here, and that he was bothered by the amount of young women on the plane.
I was very fortunate that President Clinton introduced me a lot of business leaders in London because he knew I was coming to the Old Vic. Do you know who I never asked for anything? Was Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't want to be around this guy because I felt he put the president at risk on that trip to South Africa because there were these young girls. And we were like, who is this guy? So I will say this.
There were young girls on those flights?
There were young girls on those flights, yeah. And that's been out. They've talked about it. But here's my point. There's a big difference between not remembering that I met some guy and some woman on a humanitarian trip where my focus was entirely on what we were there to do, and not remembering whether I went to somebody's island. So I never went to Jeffrey Epstein's island. I did not know him, and I never saw him or her after that morning at Buckingham Palace. He didn't even come to Buckingham Palace.
Is it true that Prince Andrew sought your assistance and wanted you to testify that Ghislaine Maxwell was your guest, not his, during that Buckingham Palace tour?
I heard a report about that, but at no time did anyone ever contact me on his behalf. And as I say, I'm not friends with him. I never saw him after that day.
What do you think about what's happened to him?
I mean, I don't know anything about it. I'm not going to talk about someone else's scandal, you know.
Here is the photo of Jeffrey Epstein wearing the IDF shirt. There you go. We're finding out new things, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the Bill Clinton photo aboard Epstein's private jet. Obviously, this is making news the world around. And more importantly, we are searching for answers. So at the very least, people are breaking out of their cages. Here's the Butler, for instance, and there's the Lolita Express behind him. There's the jet. Dude's for real. Here he is on Facebook. Find him. There's a photo of him with the jet. It's a $16 million jet. And here's the photo of the Butler. The Butler literally posted this online. Here's Bill and the Butler. And what looks to be maybe some alcohol here. They're on the jet themselves. Bill Clinton wearing a Just Do It Nike shirt. Wild. I don't know. Ghislaine Maxwell's getting moved to a different prison. Allegedly cooperating with feds. And we'll see. Ghislaine Maxwell tells DOJ also that Trump never did anything concerning around her. So we'll see what happens. Here's to looking for more disclosures. Feds are apparently going to release all of the information they have too. So we're winning. We're winning the information war, and we're getting more by the day. So I view that as a success. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.